Well, hi everybody. I'm Chef Taylor LeTouche and I'm partnering with Fresh RX. And we are so excited today to work with these farm fresh vegetables that they gave us. So if you just want to take a look over here, all of our wonderful members got beautiful stuff that looked just like this. When she brought me this stuff, I was just like, oh my God, look at this lettuce. Oh my gosh. So what we're making today with these beautiful items, we're doing a grilled salmon with garlic rice and a little bowl, like a little meal prep bowl. And I have been meal prepping for the past decade because a few of you may know I had a congenital illness which really radically changed my life. And so meal prep became the way for me to not overeat and still have tasty food on the go. And so always a few things that mise en place are: get ready your meal prep containers. I like a 28-ounce bowl because that's the right amount of food to give you the right amount of negative space in there, not to overstuff it with food. And then secondly, your mise en place. Get all your stuff together, follow your recipe, get everything chopped up and ready to go, and then you can just meal prep for a week with all of your food lined up and ready to go. I know I showed you those beautiful fresh beets, right? Well, those beets, you gotta take some time to prep those in advance, okay? They're a labor of love, but it's so worth it. So this is already roasted. I just drizzled these with olive oil and a little salt and pepper and threw them in the oven for 45 minutes. And so now that they're out, and wear gloves because you will have ruby red fingers, and that might be a style, but I wouldn't recommend it. And so you see the skin just kind of peeling off real nicely, and that just reveals our beautiful, tender, luscious beet. Look at that. So we just peel that off real quick, and it moves really fast. You just take that skin off, and we're gonna serve these with our salad. I'm gonna cut the ends off. Ooh. Okay, so I'm going to cut those in halves. All right, and the best way to level your vegetable is to lay the cut side down. It doesn't move or rock. And you can really cut these how you'd like to for your salad, but I'm going to what's called small dice. You see that? And it's really just a cross hatching. Go this way, and I'm going to small dice these up, and these are going to be perfect little refreshing bites on top of our salad. All right, so let's slide these to the left over here. Okay, so now we've got our beets, and we can move that to the side for now, which takes us to our rice. All right, we've got garlic nice and minced already. But you'll probably receive it, the whole bowl. A little trick for that is just pop that in the microwave for 10 seconds and that skin just releases. And you just slide it off just like I did those beets. All right, so for my rice, here's another little secret, okay? On the rice packet, it tells you equal parts water or cups. That's all a lie, okay? Let's not even think about that. So I just eyeball my rice, right? Put it at the bottom, okay? And I like to rinse my rice a little bit to remove some of that starch, okay? So do a little rinse, 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 all right? And see, and it removes some of the hull that, you find from garden rice, and all that comes out, right? It's a little trick. And so now it's kind of covered with water, and you only want water just enough to cover the top of your rice. And so you want to get a zoom in on that. This, as little water as possible to your ratio of rice. And so that prevents mushy, gross rice, okay? I also add a little bit of salt. I'm going to saute my garlic on the side there. Your palm of my hand is about a tablespoon. So I'm going to do half a tablespoon there. I do season until the ancestors tell me to stop, so please bear with me, but I would use 1 tablespoon of salt for this quantity of rice. For a meal prep salad, right, you have to imagine it a little different. You are preparing for your meal prep. And so I like with fresh vegetable lettuce like this, it's just to tear it, you know, because you get that beautiful flavor, and I can just eat it like this. And so we've got some of those beet greens, you know, often we don't eat those greens, we just throw them away. But those are really good in our salad also. All right. And these are all ingredients that you can also get at your local farmer's market. Whole Foods also sells beautiful organic produce. Look at that. I mean, that's just a beautiful leaf right there. And so for you, just cooking for yourself, you have all this remaining left over, you know, and you can just go through your assembly line and make your salads quickly and get all these flavors from your garden or from your local grocer. Lettuce all has different flavors, which is exciting. You know, a lot of people get stuck with spring mix or iceberg. Oof, we don't want that. I mean, it's nice on a good burger, but you know, when we're eating for our health, we're eating for life, we want all of the colors. Like, look at that beautiful purple going through there. I mean, that is something that you just want to eat. Okay, so we've got 2 salads, and we've got our beets. We're just going to sprinkle those right on top there. And look at that, that's coming together really nicely. And one thing I love, you guys, is cheese, okay? I am cheese lover. And so you gotta, with this we're using feta. Our recipe says goat cheese, but feta is like a distant cousin, right? We love it. And so I'm just go ahead and drizzle that liberally right over the top there. Yum, 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 yum. I can eat this every day, like every single day. And then we're gonna finish that out with some of our pecans. Nice tasty little salad. You know, you can put them on there whole, or you can chop them up a bit. I'm gonna chop mine up a bit. Give us a rough chop there. I got these from my last farmer's market visit with you guys. And they are amazing. Tasty, buttery pecans. And all we have left is to make our salad dressing. And we'll put that on last, because while we're doing all our meal prep, we don't want our salad to get soggy, you know, and we can come back to that. But we can set our salad to the side. Now we've got our rice over here coming to a boil. We're going to saute our garlic, because this is garlic rice. And nothing is better than a little sauteed garlic on everything. And so I'm going to put olive oil, which is right on top of my stove here. All right. Now at home, that would be 1 tablespoon of olive oil, you guys. I'm just, again, using the bottle. If you feel familiar with your kitchen, you just kind of use what's there, right? All right, and then we've got our rice coming to a boil. This is what we want. Enough water to get all those kernels boiling. And now that we have our olive oil in there, we're gonna saute that. Nice solid 2 heaping tablespoons for that. All right, because this is a nice flavorful rice. And we're gonna let that sizzle. And then while we're doing that, we'll get ready for our salmon. Now I like cast iron. I don't know, cast iron gets nice and hot and cooks really evenly, and it's kind of the old school way, which I'm all about. Now the key also for your rice is a tight fitting lid. Make sure that lid traps all that steam in there. Our garlic is browning. You can start to smell that, guys. It's nice, and we don't want raw garlic in with our rice. That doesn't create the flavor profile. You know, flavor comes from browning, and that's a real good trick where you can teach your brain. If it isn't kind of brown, then it's gonna be kind of bland, okay? So this is what we have here with our garlic. And now we can put that brown garlic right in our rice. Look at that, nice yummy bits. Okay, now rice, we don't want to stir it too much, but we're going to give this one good solid stir and bring that back up to a boil until it's rolling, and then we're going to reduce it all the way down and then cover it tightly. Let it do its thing. All right, we want to clean our station here. That's the key thing with meal prep. You got a lot of things going on all the time if you want to move quickly, right? So just step by step, everything you do, keep it clean, and you'll have meal prep done and your cleaning done at the same time. Secondly, we're going to do a little sautéed vegetable for our bowl. We have these beautiful mushrooms. I mean, I have a little fetish for mushrooms. I mean, they're just amazing. I mean, they're just beautiful. And we have some broccoli and we have some carrots, right? So we're going to saute those nice together. It's going to have an Asian flair to it. Soy maple glaze. Maple, I like even a little better because it's vegan, you know. Did you know that honey isn't vegan? Who would have thought? Here's a little trick for our little marinade. You can just shake it up right in there. If you don't have a whisk, sometimes all you have is a good old spoon and you just make that work. I mean, my grandmother made feasts in her kitchen with just a spatula and some tongs. Okay, let's taste that. That's good. It's perfect. Just 2 ingredients and that's all you need. Now I did put salt and pepper on our salmon. And this is what we have over here. This is Atlantic salmon, but you know, fish is a God's gift. And you know, salmon comes in a couple different varieties. Sockeye is a little leaner. We want to kind of move away from farm-raised salmon, but because it doesn't have all those good vitamins and nutrients. And so sockeye, they swim, and we want free salmon. We want everybody to feel free, right? Including our salmon. Okay, so I'm gonna sear this salmon. Our rice is looking good. Let's do this a little. You can come over here and look at our rice. It's looking fabulous. This is what we want. We've turned that all the way down, and we can put our lid on it and let it do its jazz, right? All right, now we're gonna sear our salmon. We get that nice and hot. That cast iron you wanna heat up first. You want your skillet as hot as it can be to sear our salmon quickly. I'm gonna clean our salmon up real quick and create some nice little fillets because portion size is a big deal, okay? It's one thing to eat healthy, but you can overeat on healthy food. You want to stay based on what your diet regulations are, and that's generally a size of protein the size of your fist. So 3 to 4 ounces is what we want. So I'm gonna slice that to make cute little fillets that are closer to the same size. Now at home you don't have to do that, but I like things to look pretty, right? That's just me as my chef talk coming. And I have a little poodle, so I give him my scraps. All right, so now we have some beautiful salmon fillets there. We have our little marinade. And we are gonna sear it first. I have salt and pepper only on our salmon fillets. And too much salt will kill your fish. These are nice, delicate meats, so be careful with that. All right, we're putting it fit, skin tight down. You hear that sizzle? That's what you want. Sizzle, sizzle. Let's check our salmon. It's looking good. So when we are cooking our salmon, we want to keep an eye on it. We want it to turn opaque on one side before we flip it. And you can visually see that opaqueness happening as it cooks, okay? And so I'm gonna get our skillet really hot for our sauteed vegetables. We're gonna do some carrots and onions first, and our broccoli. So I'm gonna do a little trick. I'm gonna throw my broccoli on top of my rice so that steam will turn it really green. You're gonna be amazed. And throw our mushrooms in there, those cute little mushrooms. They just make me smile. All right, that's looking good. we're going to completely cover our salmon. We got a nice char on there. This is our maple soy sauce. And we're gonna throw that in our convection oven. And that creates a glazed coating for about 10 minutes, okay? All right, so now we've got our mushrooms looking good over here. Now we can check on that. Remember that trick I told you? Look how green that broccoli is. All right. Our rice is cooking. All right. That looks good. Just a little bit of salt on there. Okay. All right, that's looking good. We're doing the simplest little salad dressing using the same ingredients because oftentimes you don't want to have all this, it gets costly, you know, having a bunch of different ingredients. So you can cross use. And all we need is 1 part apple cider vinegar for this salad dressing. It's very simple. And then 1 part maple syrup. Maybe 2 parts. I like it a little sweeter. And then we have a little salt. That's just about a teaspoon. And we'll put some herbs in there. I like herbs. Shake that up real good. There we go. Nice maple vinaigrette for our wonderful flavors of feta cheese, fresh spring mix, nice and light. You don't want to overpower your beautiful salad. All right, now we always gotta do a little taste. It's so good. Appley, that apple cider vinegar comes through. All right, now I'm gonna always put this on the side when you're doing your meal prep. And these little containers work perfectly. You can get these from Restaurant Depot. And just a few other little hacks. I mean, if you're trying to cut back on your sodium, use tamari or coconut aminos. Even vinegar can sometimes hold a lot of salt. So using white vinegar has less sugar content. I do understand. Food is medicine, and it has definitely saved my life. All right. So we got salad dressing, we've got our salad. Let's check on our salmon. All right, that looks nice and good. It's nice and opaque. Got this delicious sauce on there. That looks good. Nice and flaky. We want salmon to flake. Now we can construct our bowls. Now I have this little handy dandy spoon that has our measuring right on there. That's a full half a cup right there. All right. Now I'm gonna eat this salmon for about 3 days. Now, little hint, you don't wanna keep cooked food, especially fish, more than 3 to 5 days. And by then it's time to pitch it. This is what you want, nice fluffy rice. All right, so we're gonna put that right at the bottom of our bowl. A half a cup is more than enough rice. I tell myself that. Even though I love it, I love rice. Nice and fragrant. You can smell that garlic. Then our sauteed vegetables. So we've got our beautiful mushrooms and our bright broccoli and some nice shredded carrots. And then lastly, our salmon. Put that right on top. Okay. All right, and let's put some fresh herbs. Nothing is like a little herb in action. And then our sesame seeds. And then lastly, we're going to drizzle some of our maple au jus right on top of there. All right. What I also like to do is maybe put a little fresh carrot right on the side. You know, give yourself a little fresh bite. And bowls are so very versatile. You can put just about whatever you want on top of these. Whatever little garnish you have, you can add some nuts. Just kind of play with them until you get to and you can, you know, the versatility. Every day you can have a different flavor in your bowl. And give it a little lemon juice. All right. And then we have it. Our little salmon bowls. All right. All right, thank you so much, guys, for watching me make my salmon bowl. Again, this is grilled salmon. We grilled it in our pan skillet there, so you can do that right at home with a soy maple glaze. And then we had our garlic rice and our stir fry beneath it, which was mushrooms and broccoli and carrots. We also had a beet salad today with a lovely mix of garden lettuces, fresh beets, and feta cheese. Thank you so much, guys.